Jerry's tree. Jerry is a friend who started out as a client. It was about 25 years ago that I was first called out to look at Jerry's tree. Let me start off by telling you a little bit about Jerry. He's about 15 years older than I am. He is a very unique person with a real down-to-earth attitude about his lifestyle. His home was built in the 1920s, and he has not modernized it much at all. Matter of fact, the kitchen in his house is tiny. Most of my clients have these enormous kitchens that are the center of the home's entertainment and gathering place. Jerry's kitchen takes you back in time. His property is quite large for the area, and it's worth a small fortune. But it feels more like a gentleman's hobby farm, and it's very humble, rather than the estate properties I'm used to working on. He has chickens and a garden, and he loves to work around his place. He has a very simple lifestyle. Now, in front of the property that he has named Ivy Gate is an enormous old coast live oak tree. The massive tree grows over the road, over the large corner of his front yard, over the neighbor's yard, and Jerry and his family love this tree. Sadly, it's got to go. When I was first called in to look at this tree over 25 years ago, I realized that this tree was full of trunk decay. So much decay was recognized that the tree had 7 cables already existing throughout the canopy. All of these long-reaching limbs had a cable. Sadly, the trunk was now open and rotted, and frankly, it was very, very dangerous. Jerry wanted us to help him manage this tree, so we did some weight reduction and some pruning. And about 10 years ago, I told Jerry that the tree was too dangerous and it should come down. He was pretty upset at that, and he asked me if there was anything that might prolong the life of this huge tree.
Oh, okay. This guy still works.
I need to mention that the foliage of the tree was very full, and from a distance the tree looked magnificent. I suggested more cables. So we installed 7 additional cables all the way up the bad side to help contain this massive decay. And I wrote him a letter stating that the tree was dangerous and that we would not accept liability for this potential failure. And ever since we did that, we've continued to work on the tree, but this year I said no more. I would remove the tree, but I felt that the trunk had reached a point of no return. A failure of this monster would be catastrophic, and I said, "Sorry, Jerry, no more." In truth, over the years, whenever Jerry called me, I expected him to say the tree fell apart. I drove by this tree on the way home quite often, so I was constantly reminded of my decision to save his tree. I felt it was a mistake, and I dreaded the day I would have to deal with a potential tragedy. So now we're taking it down. Now, Jerry and Lynn's son wrote a little bit about his tree, his family tree, and I'd like to read this. Oh, that mighty oak, with its tremendous proud trunk, its branches like outstretched welcoming arms, its lightly toasted leaves creating a beautiful canopy for all who basked in its sweet shade. Oh, that mighty oak that stood majestically and honorably for 150 years upon this soil, and watched over us like an old friend for over 50 years. This week we say goodbye to you. We will miss you. Yes, there is a touch of sadness in our hearts, but any sorrow we feel is made better by the sweet memories we shared together. In 1969, the year we moved into the Oak Street house, the arborist at the time told Dad that the 100-year-old tree would probably go another 50. He was dang close, but you did him one better. So, with the yellow ribbons tied around our hearts, we say thanks and so long, old friend. It was a mighty, mighty fine run.